Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be one of our homework questions, trying to find the derivative of f of x equals x cubed minus 12x using the limit definition of a derivative. And so there are just two ways. First method we're going to use is the h method. In this case, where the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. And then I use the w approaches x, w approaches x method. In this case, it's very similar because they're both, these are both in this case slopes. All right, so we're really finding the slope of a tangent line, and the concept in this case is that you really can only find slope between 2 points, but if the space between 2 points gets so small that it approaches 0, you're really going to be finding the slope of the tangent line because at 1 point. So first thing we do is we're going to, in this case, plug in x plus h into our function. So what does f of x plus h look like? So f of x plus h really is going to look like here, x plus h to the third minus 12 times x plus h. And so when we expand everything, that's going to be, in this case, x cubed plus 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h to the third minus 12x minus 12h. Okay, just keep in mind the x plus h to the third. That's that binomial expansion we guys did a long time ago. Use Pascal's triangle to figure out the coefficients 1, 2, 3, 1, and then of course the exponents are going to be x squared, x cubed, x squared, x to the first, x 0, or h 0, h to the first, h squared, h to the cubed. Okay, we look back at the at your algebra 2 or a pre-calc lesson for that. So when we write everything out, it looks like this is the limit as h approaches 0 of x cubed plus 3x squared h plus 3x h squared plus h cubed minus 12x minus 12h, and then f of x subtracting, in this case, minus parenthesis x cubed minus 12x. Okay, all over h. Now, we're subtracting the h cubed, subtracting x cubed minus 12x. So we're going to shoot -1. So this becomes so this comes here, plus, minus, and plus. So change all the signs, and so at this point we can cancel out the x cubed and the x cubed here, the negative 12x and the positive 12x. One of the things about this with the f of x plus h minus f of x over h, the limit at h equals 0, this method will always knock out anything with x, right? All the x terms without h's will be always taken care of, like somewhere along the way they cancel out. So now we're left with the limit as h approaches 0 of 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h cubed minus 12h all over h. Now, you plug in h, you get 0 over 0, that indeterminate form. Then, we haven't solved anything at this point. But we can, in this case, factor out the h. Maybe, I'm going to start a new line for this one. So you're going to factor out the h here. So I'm going to show every single step. So this way you guys can say, well, okay, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? So definitely want to work on your factoring skills if you have not done so already. Make sure those are sharp. So 3x squared plus 3xh plus h squared minus 12 all over h. And now at this point, we can simplify out the h's here. All right. And so if I plugged in h now, plug in 0 for h now, I have a 1 here and a 1 here. And so now my denominator is not equal to 0. All right, so now plug in 0. So we'll end up with, in this case, 3x squared. This goes to 0. This goes to 0. And we're left with minus 12. And this will be the derivative in this case. So this is what we call f prime of x, or derivative of original function x cubed minus 12x is going to be 3x squared minus 12. Okay. And that's our derivative using a limit, using the h approaches 0. So let me just make this full screen here. Okay. Now I said I would also do it the other way as w approaches x, because there's a different way of approaching it. It's the same thing, So let's set this up as well too. So we're going to redo this again. And the other method is where we have the limits as w approaches x of f of w minus f of x all over w minus x. Now, just keep in mind that you can use either method when trying to find. Let me make it look more like a w. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's my clunky fingers. So you can use either method when finding derivative for my class, and also whichever you find a little easier. And so this would just look like the following then. We plug this in. This is the limit as w approaches x of, in this case, f of w will be w cubed minus 12w minus f of x, which would be x cubed minus 12x all over w minus x. Now the difference in this case is that you're not really canceling other out. You're going to be factoring stuff out though. So we're going to kind of group, we'll factor by grouping. And by the way, if we switch to negative, this becomes a negative and this becomes a positive. So we end up with the limit as w approaches x of w cubed minus 12w. All right, there's a plus here actually. So it becomes minus x cubed plus 12x all over w minus x. And at this point, we're going to do a little grouping, if you will. So we're going to group together these two terms and these two terms. Okay, so our expression is going to look like this then. W cubed minus x cubed. And I'm going to rewrite this as plus 12x minus 12w all over w minus x. Okay, and then we'll do a little grouping here. So this and this here, and you can rewrite this as two limits. The limit as w approaches x of w cubed minus x cubed over w minus x, and then plus the limit of w approaches x of 12x minus 12w over w minus x. Okay, so we're going to do a little factoring. Okay, a little factoring. And we need to know in this case, well, how to factor the difference of cubes. All right, so we'll expand that a little bit here. So at the limit as w approaches x of, this should be w minus x w squared plus wx plus x squared over w minus x. And that's one limit, plus the limit as w approaches x of 12 times x minus w over w minus x. Now, do you need to write these two separate limits? No, I did, because it's a little easier to kind of look at each one. Because now, for the second one, the 12 times x minus w over w minus x, we recognize that these two divide out to -1. And so -1 times 12 is -12. And now for the other one, we see here that the w minus x divides out. And as w approaches x, this just becomes x squared plus x times x plus x squared, which is really 3x squared. So 3x squared minus 12, the same thing we got before. All right, and I'll make this full page here. And so either way we do this, no, I mean, the h approach is 0, you're going to need to be able to expand the binomial, put it someplace here, and use techniques to be able to work with your limits. With the w approach x method, you're going to have to factor, all right? And you'll see stuff always will factor out. Okay, you just got to be able to factor out certain things here. We'll definitely use other techniques in this case when it comes to other types of functions as well. So I hope it's been helpful, all right? And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Share this video for those who have who just need help with practicing find limit definition. And if you have other limit definition questions, email definitely send them to me, post them in the comments, and I'll try to make a video for those as well too. Also, if at this time we've hit our 200 subscriber and so giveaway, and so from now until for videos released, I guess since the end of September, I guess like around September of 2021 to the end of December 2021, there'll be opportunities for those subscribed to be able to leave comments, and you guys, every comment you leave will be every time you leave a comment on the video, I'll be adding your name into the raffle as well too. But if you subscribe though, all subscribers get one entry, and then you get extra entries for every time you comment. All right, comment in the below, and please, if any ask questions. I love to hear ask questions and all, or comments and all, if I can make things better for you guys. Okay, thanks so much for watching. All right, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and be safe.